You know, some people stand here and wonder why it is that I don't live stream. I'll be honest with you, I like making videos much better. Because when I make a video, I know that everybody who watches it from the very beginning. And that way, you don't miss out on important information that might be pivotal to understanding the entire argument as a whole. Now, with that being said, I want to break down exactly what the fuck it is going on. Now, the more I read, the more I begin to understand and formulate the ideology that I have inside of my head as to why things are happening exactly the way that they're happening. Now, we've stood here and spoken on ZEIHAN on fucking a lot of different streams and on my streams and on some of my videos. And I've begun speaking on MOLDBUG and, I'm going to begin speaking on Smith and Machiavelli. But I also kind of want to bring in the Bronze Age, like understanding the history of the Bronze Age collapse. Right. And anybody that knows anything about the Bronze Age collapse is when Egypt and there was like 2 or 3 other places that actually collapsed at the same time. And they said it was the people of the sea who came in and crashed. But the reality is that these cultures and these dynasties were falling, as it were. Now, the reason is because there was entirely too many people on the dole and too many people living off of diminishing returns of the crops that they were having. Now, we don't have the issue of the diminishing returns of the crops at the moment, but we do have an issue of too many people standing here living off of the dole of the same crops that we have coming in every year. And I mean, we can stand here and really kind of say that there's a diminishing return when we talk about how it is that we process things and the way that food actually and nutrients and proteins and vitamins actually make their way into our actual diets. But I really want to have a conversation about why it is that Donald Trump is treated the way Donald Trump is. And it's not so much about the man himself, but what it is that he does and he stands for. Now, if you've read MOLDBUG or if you have not, I'll break down a little bit of it. He talks about something called the cathedral. And the cathedral is the institutions in America that stand for either the status quo or progress, as it were, or the progressivist movement. These institutions are the government, which has 21 million individuals working at state, local, and federal levels. The military-industrial complex, which is covered in some of the government, but on top of that, also covered in a lot of industrial manufacturing jobs, which are funded by the government. Media, which is, mainstream media, CNN, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, NPR. None of these channels have ever met a war that they have not liked. And then academia and social media as well at this point, which is a newcomer to the game. And I'm going to break down and explain why it is that these companies are the way they are and how they get funded. Now, academia, on one hand, is kind of the Monday morning quarterback. They stand here and they break down stuff after it happens and make explanations for it. It's kind of like individuals standing here saying that rioters are like, the culture standing here getting upset and, showing a rage, upon the bad things that have happened to them. Right. They're Monday morning quarterbacks, like this example here.
So we rebel so you can feel our pain. We rebel so you can understand that enough is enough. We tried sitting in. We tried chanting. We tried singing. We tried rapping. We tried hashtags. We ran marathons so you'd listen to us. And you don't listen until you feel some of this pain.
Now, the second part of this is the mainstream media and social media. Now, social media and mainstream media live off of advertising. They live off of advertising from companies like Nike. And Nike recently, you know what I'm saying, for instance, has been standing here pushing the Black Lives Matter movement, things of this nature. And you can say it's because black people are, you know what I mean, a portion of their customer base. But the reality is, right, it's actually a financial move for them. These individuals here have sweatshops in places like Indonesia. And in having sweatshops in places like Indonesia, they know that they are reliant upon the American world order. Now, when I say the American world order, it's important that everybody understands exactly what I'm talking about. Now, the American-led world order came to be in the 1940s. In 1944, in the Pacific, it was what's known as the Bretton Woods Agreement, right? The Bretton Woods Agreement happened in a place in New Hampshire, and they stood here or Connecticut, one of the two, I forget, to be honest with you, but it was Bretton Woods, I think Connecticut or New Hampshire, one of the two, and they stood here and they made an agreement about monetary policy, but also insecurity. Basically, what the United States said was, look, you can go and get goods from anywhere in the world and bring them back and turn them into finished products, and you don't have to have colonies anymore, right? And we will end all of your empires in doing so. We told that to Europe. And we even offered this to places like Japan after World War II, Germany, our ex-enemies. And the only thing we asked in return, legit, was that these individuals stand here and let us fight the Soviet Union the way we needed to fight them, and help us stand here and fight the Soviet Union so that we could keep them under control and make sure that things were what they were supposed to be in our manner of thinking. Now, this lasted all the way up until 1991 when the Soviet Union fell and the Berlin Wall fell. This was kind of a big deal. And at that time, we had a president called George W. Bush, who spoke of the 1,000 points of light.
I've spoken of 1,000 points of light.
Now, he was ex-CIA director, you know, delegation to the UN, ambassador to a bunch of countries. He was probably the best man for the job. So what America do? We fucking fired him. And we proceeded with, basically the pack of morons afterwards, Clinton, Bush, and Obama. Now, Clinton was, a highly intelligent individual, but he wasn't interested in, international matters. He considered them boring. George W. Bush, he had a one-dimensional international world, view, which was we need to bomb Iraq, right? That was his entire platform as far as international politics was concerned. He just wanted to kill Saddam Hussein. And then you had Obama, who, had a great grasp of what was going on internationally, but he considered himself a domestic president, and he had this really big problem of he didn't really like people, right? These individuals stood here and had a massive complaint about Obama, but on the same point, like, he never picked up the phone. That was the big problem with Barack Obama when it came down to it. And then we elected Donald Trump. Now, Donald Trump stood here and said, look, I'm going to bring all these troops home. I'm going to end these fucking wars. And these individuals lost their fucking minds, right? Because they know that the biggest reason that he got elected, and the reason why every president who runs on an anti-war platform gets elected, is because Americans hate being at war over shit that doesn't matter to us. All right. And we're about done with this world order. It's fucking over with. We don't want to be stood here and be seen as being the fucking evil empire. We're tired of having people talk shit about us. We're sick of fucking dealing with the world's problem and being the world's police. Nobody wants this anymore. All right. The Americans are tired of it. The rest of the world gets to stand here and take advantage of the fact that they don't have to provide security for any of their trade. And in doing so, they're able to afford things like universal health care, where we're standing here continuing to support them on a regular basis and basically coming up with all their prescription drugs and selling to them for a fucking great discount, and our military never fucking intervenes. This is something that, Donald Trump is going to deal with. But these people don't want him to deal with it because they have sweatshops in places like Indonesia. And they make a lot of money fucking making drones and bombers and missiles and tanks and bullets and ammo and all the things that go with it, and helmets and everything else that they advertise on their shit. On top of that, all this international trade only fucking works if we continue to provide trade routes and trade route securities, which we're no longer going to do. They're going to end up having to deal with a country like Japan or China or France or Turkey for their security needs. They're not going to be able to stand here and rely on America just giving out free security to the entire world. This is something that they're highly upset about that Donald Trump is going to do. Now you would say, why is it that, you know what I'm saying, like America shouldn't keep doing it? Isn't it good for them? Well, no, because America only is relying about 8% of its GDP fully on trade one way or another. And about half of that is Canada or Mexico when it really comes down to it. So America really doesn't actually need international trade. That's just the truth of the matter. So with this being said, why is it that these individuals hate Trump? Why is it that these individuals hate nationalists? Why do they hate the idea of us standing here no longer being the world police? Because it's going to cost them money. It's a basic premise. It's that simple. It all boils down to money. Why would you want to continue to defend Ukraine and fight against the Russians? Because there's money involved. If they have to pay Russia for the Crimean natural gas and oil that comes through, they're actually going to have to pay or they'll be cut off. If Ukraine becomes part of the UN, they no longer have to worry about paying Ukraine. They can stand there and hand them out bonds. They can sit here and bullshit all they want to and pretend to pay them. That's the truth of the matter. That's what it really comes down to. This is all really about money and geopolitics. And people really don't understand this shit. Anyway, yo, look, I'm Tom Pease with Pnoid News. I want you to understand everything that's going on. Please keep paying attention and listening. Because the better educated you are, the more able you're able to hit individuals in the mouth when they spout off nonsense. And you're able to correct other people so that they can go out and take the message. It's important that we do this because this is about the viability and opportunities we have as a nation going forward. Yo, you know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you share this out. And look, YouTube ain't fucking handing out notifications no more. Peace.